Good morning and welcome to a new week. This is Morning Pulse, the pulse of Nigerian politics. My name is Sharon Enemchuku. Joining me live in the studio as always, I have with me the delectable Ifoma Oji. Good morning. How are you doing?
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. Always fine.
Yes, you're looking rather exquisite this morning.
Thank you. And you look palatable.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, joining us via Zoom, we have our analyst in person of Mr. Oladimeji Oluwafemi. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning, ladies.
Good morning, sir.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
and
very
you look
much.
good too.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Now we're going straight to the stories that we have for this morning. President Tinubu's 2027 bid is stirring debate as David Umahi, Minister of Works, insists the presidency is not yet the Southeast turn. This raises fresh questions about zoning and regional power sharing. At the same time, Tinubu faces sharp criticism for pardoning convicted drug traffickers, a move many say rewards criminals and undermines Nigeria's fight against crime. While insecurity worsens at home, Tinubu is in Rome for a global security summit. But Nigerians wonder, can foreign problems be solved outside the shores of Nigeria? Well, I guess we'll find out in a jiffy. First, we're starting with Dave Umahi's claim, saying that the Southeast is not yet ready for presidency, as it's not their turn in 2027. Now, he came out to address the regional and the zoning issue that people have been complaining about, especially coming from the Southeast, with them asking for inclusivity when it concerns governance in Nigeria. And Dave Umahi has come out to say that it's not yet their turn and they should give it to Mr. President and contest maybe in 2031 after he would have fulfilled his 8-year tenure. Now, I'm starting with you, Mr. Oladimeji. That statement, what does that say to you?
Can you pick the statement again? Apologies.
He says that the Southeast, it is not yet the Southeast turn for presidency in 2027. And so they should rally behind President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and wait till 2031.
Thank you. Thank you for that recall. Well, the professor in practice is not amazingly. I'm not shocked at the take of the professor in practice.
You did just say professor in practice.
Also not shocked at the take of the most senior man in governance. All of these are the takes of David Umahi. And I wonder if David is the man who keeps the record or the schedule of political zoning and the rotation. I don't know he is the one who now tells whose turn it is and whose turn it is not. But the last I checked, the zoning has got to do with regions rather. And it was a gentleman agreement between the political players before now,
Yes.
to keep the balance of a nation together. It's a gentleman's agreement that nobody wrote down. So where is David Umahi coming with these ideas from? It is not about, how do I put it now? It is not about sub-regional rotation. Forgive my voice, I'm having a cold.
No problem, sir.
It is not about sub-regional rotation. Thank you. It's not about sub-regional rotations. It's about regional rotation. The South and the North. That is the rotation. In fact, there was a time that there was an argument that was raised that some other ethnic groups are being, abused in this situation because they are not carried along. And so somebody suggested that they begin to rotate it amongst our 700 and something or 200 and something rather ethnic groups, but it wouldn't work that way. So it was jettisoned. It is between the North and the South.
All right. Sorry to cut you there, Mr. Oladimeji. Can you hear me clearly, Mr. Oladimeji? Can you hear me? So I want to just bring to you, I want to understand you clearly. So you're coming from the point that it is a regional sharing, rotational sharing of power. Now, in this sense, I am asking from the perspective of the Southeast specifically, because there has been a long-standing conversation and argument coming from the Southeast saying that they have not been included in governance, especially when it concerns the presidency seat. Now, there are people who have also been saying, when you look at the zoning that has come out from the ADC and the rest, and some big players like Mr. Peter Obi, one of the reasons is the fact that people feel, especially the Southeasterners, that they have been excluded from that particular seat. Now, I'm talking sub-region, not just the region now.
Thank you. I was getting there.
All right.
I was going to bring that at the latter end of mission. Yes. Yes, it is between the North and the South. But the late, what's his name? The former, the late leader of the Afenifere, who passed on recently, died. Understand that we have seen this rotation gone around all of the North, Northwest, North South, North Central. We have seen it gone around in the South. Southwest had had its turn. Even South had gotten a turn. For the Southeast, I have not gotten a turn. So far, Adebanjo Rada, forgive me, stood on that ground till he died. That for equity, for justice and fairness, the East should produce, the candidate in 2023, because they have been completely marginalized in the rotation. That is why we, person like me, is standing behind the principle. My principal, Peter, will be because it is for equity, fairness, and justice for the East sub-region to produce a candidate this time around. So whatever Umahi is saying is just Bangladesh.
All right. I think that's clear now. But to you, Ifoma, with Dave Umahi coming out to make such statements and such proclamation, do you think that he is positioning himself as a gatekeeper for the Igbos now when it concerns the corridors of the presidency instead of a claimant?
I'm not actually, I'm seeing that, yeah, because if you check the incumbent government, he is in APC. Dave Umahi we're talking about here is in APC. So Tinubu automatically is his boss. So he would definitely side or do anything in favor of his boss. But here, if I'm to speak, on the part of, legality or constitutional claims, the Constitution does not imply that you have any form of, you have to, what do they call it? You have to kind of rotate power, or is turn by turn or anything like that. The only thing the Constitution kind of accepts is the fact that if you have ruled for 8 years, which is just 4 years that you're entitled according to the Constitution to rule, that it is now left for you, for your party and for voters to, put you back into the position. But it is not your constitutional right to rule again, or to say that you have the right to rule 8 years. You understand? So I think what Dave Umahi is saying here is because of the fact that this is his boss and he's trying to protect or side his boss.
Okay, you don't see the gentleman agreement that is unwritten about rotation from the north, south, and the rest.
Like I said earlier, it's a party structure thing. You understand? It's like Oladimeji said, is a gentleman agreement between parties. Is not captured in the Constitution.
Exactly, we know that. So are you saying, do you think that Dave Umahi making such a statement is trying to position himself as someone who would be able, or who has the authority to make the decision of when the Southeast is ready for presidency?
He does not have any right. He does not have any legal standing. Because if I'm to make comment based on this, like Oladimeji said, I mean, power has gone to the South, the Southeast, the South-South, the Southwest, and the rest of other regions. But it has not gone gotten to the Southeast. And if we are to talk about equity, if equity matters here, it should represent everybody. And you could see clearly that the Southeast have been marginalized, and they have been lamenting over the years. It's only during the time of Nnamdi Azikiwe in the 1960s, which he was a ceremonial head of state then. It is only that time that we witnessed anything like Southeast being included. But it has always been the North and the rest, the West and the rest of them. But Southeast have always been marginalized. So if we are to look at equity here, the Southeast should be included in leadership.
Now, to you, Mr. Oladimeji, we've heard both sides, and I'm asking, what does this now mean for the gentleman unwritten agreement? If it's not equal, if it's not being rotated equally, what does this now mean for us politically?
Unfortunately, it's not a written agreement. It is not constitutionally backed. Unfortunately, it's just an agreement between politicians who felt that the centrifugal nature of our geographic area needs to be protected, and such rotation would assist to keep the balance in the politics of our country. I do not see this in any way affecting, like if he said, it's an internal political situation with the party. They may decide to go for it or against it. There is no constitutional infringement taking place in any case. Okay.
Now, because of that, because of the fact that it is not written and there is not any type of law, or it's not constitutionally backed, this cannot hold. You can't use it to fight anybody legally. Now, we have to also talk about, just finally, Ifoma, to wrap it up on this particular story, if this is the situation of things now, with the Southeast continually feeling marginalized, do you think that we can, as a nation, achieve unity across all regions with the current state of things politically?
I think it's possible. The problem the Igbos or the Southeast have is more like they are always selfish. If there is possibility of everybody, the entire Southeast kind of standing behind one credible candidate that is widely accepted by the nation, you understand, I think we can fight that. And apart from that, I think maybe the Southeast should equally try as much as possible to form an alliance with other political parties, you understand, both in the North, the West, and the rest of them. If they form this alliance, I think most definitely they will overthrow the incumbent government coming 2027. But if they keep on doing this whole, rigmarolling, it's my turn, it's not my turn, then I don't see us achieving anything in 2027.
So you're saying coalition now and unity. Mr. Oladimeji.
Well, if the politicians in opposition are not going to be, what's the language you use now, on sitting Tinubu, they are going to be contesting and removing him from office via the poll, so that people don't go run with treason.
No, I think that's what she meant, to do that legally, that's by legally, getting your PVCs, but just having an agreement. I think that's what you meant.
I mean, yes, if they split, there is no form of unity. Okay. You understand? But if everybody agree that this is the candidate we are supporting, then we are seeing, headway in 2027. Okay. And I wanted to mention the fact that, they should equally be policy building. We already know what the current situation of the country is. We already know what Nigerians want. So why don't you front that Nigerians want? And then maybe like a map of how you want to implement this if you're being selected or you win as the candidate. All right,
so it's just still having that sense of unity across all board and having a united front. Now, we also have to talk about the front that Nigeria is putting out to the public image, right? And we have just seen a video where Tinubu is arriving Rome for a security summit. It's called the Akaba process. And this is something that it's supposed to be a meeting where they talk on how to coordinate efforts to combat online radicalization and disrupt digital networks that facilitate terrorist propaganda and recruitment. So they are linking digital disruption right now to actual terrorist propaganda. Now, but first, Mr. Oladimiji, before I come to the fact that this is part of what they have on their agenda for their discussion, do you think that Mr. President being there himself is truly important, or should he have been represented by someone else?
When your house is burning, you don't send a proxy. You attempt to fire yourself.
All right, so you think...
Is currently the
So you think that they can achieve from this particular meeting? You think that something meaningful can come out from this particular security summit?
Well, if I have to look at the antecedent of this current regime, I wouldn't have my fingers crossed for that. But we are bedeviled by the mirage of insecurity, both Christian genocide and what have you. If I were the presidency, in that summit today or right now, I would overwhelm that summit with the cries of my problems, which is a serious insecurity.
Now, you said you would overwhelm them. I'm going to come to Ifoma now. Do you think that there would actually be the platform whereby the president can actually put down Nigeria's problems on the table, specifically Nigeria, when they're having the summit?
I think the main aim is, to strengthen security. It's part of the main aim for him going there. So if it's possible that he might actually be given the opportunity to lay down Nigerians' problem to the table there. But I have a problem with implementation. We already know that there's possibility that this whole thing will actually go as planned, as they have organized it in the first place. But the problem now is, what is the follow through? He's going to come back and we're going to see flashy headlines that he has gone to tighten security. But what we are asking right now, did you actually procure those, things, security, machineries that you need? Did you procure them while there? Did you ensure the fact that maybe you're getting more intelligence reportage or even more intelligence to actually fight banditry in Nigeria? Those are the things that we ask, because I know most definitely that this, at the end of the day, it will look like, this is the headway, this is going to, improve security in Nigeria, but at the end of the day, we are not going to see any, improvement on security.
I like that you answered that, because that was actually going to be my next question now, if we are going to see real results after the security summit. But now to you, Mr. Oladimiji, do you think, because you said something, Ifoma said it, that it's important when your house is on fire, you can't send a proxy, you have to go there yourself. Now, do you think that Nigeria is relying too much on foreign meetings to solve local security issues?
Thank you for that question, Sharon. Right. My professor back in the school days would say, you look inward for indigenous solutions to indigenous problems.
Like that.
But there is that is an island. Nations are always, how to sort their comparative advantages, to hedge their comparative advantages over others. So in this case of insecurity, as far as Nigeria is concerned, we are very limited, not in personnel to tackle insecurity. We have been compromised, and we have been limited in a way to tackle this insecurity by political interest here and there. All of these political interests here and there are the reasons why this issue of insecurity would refuse, to even be drilled down or go away at all. So I'm thinking, Sharon,
yes,
that to deal with these insecurity matters of ours, we definitely need allies, and we strongly and earnestly do.
We do need allies, and that is what we're hoping that the president can be able to acquire on trips like this, but we'll only be able to find out after his return. Now, still talking about the president, Mr. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the ADC have come out to slam him for the pardon he granted drug traffickers. And I'm just going to start with Ifoma. Do you think that this controversy might impact Tinubu's image on crime and security?
Yes, most definitely. It will. But if I am to speak constitutionally, I think the Constitution, according to 1999 Constitution, Section 175, which talks about the pardoning criminals or reducing their sentences, it captures this. But at the same time, we're already seeing the growth of crimes, more crimes in Nigeria, especially robbery, banditry, and the rest of them. So it's more like, I feel he should actually focus, if he wants to pardon people that have committed crime, he should actually start from people that commit less crime. There are a lot of persons that are in that prison that most of them are even innocent of what they are being accused of. So why not open those books of those persons and grant them pardon? And I saw that he even pardoned a certain woman that was accused, that she was convicted and given a life imprisonment for killing the husband, and he reduced her sentence. And I'm like, this is something that we are not supposed to be allowing in the country, in as much as we know that you have the power to pardon them, but there are lesser crimes that you're supposed to pay attention to. And it's looking like some of these people that he pardoned are the kingpins. That's the way it's looking to me. There are people that commit big crimes that are supposed to be convicted and that are supposed to serve long, jail terms, but we are seeing the jail terms of those people reducing, which for me is unacceptable.
All right. Now, you think it's unacceptable because of the gravity of crimes of which he pardoned, and I'm also going to ask Mr. Oladimiji, there is something the ADC made mention of. They said for people who were sentenced to life imprisonment, who only spent 2 years in prison, they too received presidential pardon. Now, they also came out to say that the clemency amounts to a most irresponsible abuse of the presidential power of prerogative of mercy. Now, do you agree to that? And secondly, now, do we think that this is sending a different message to the public?
Sharon, it is sending a message that there is no consequence for action. And even if you bad your consequence for action, if Providence will smile on you, have your friend in office at the apex office, and you will be granted pardon, or you'll be freed eventually. That is the kind of message it is sending, just like the kind of message that the public peace treaty that our military personnel had with the terrorists sent to the public. It is just the same kind of message to the public that, hey, you go ahead in your evil act, in your social vices act, you are protected and it is lucrative. That is the message. Now, it is ludicrous. It is devastating that this current party in government will continue to, erode the borderlines, blur the limitations, and confuse us of the extent that the rule of law can go. Now you have pardoned, out of the prerogative of pardon used by the occupant of Asur of Point, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, 29.3% of this prerogative of pardon went to persons with narcotic case. People with narcotic cases are the most who got this prerogative of pardon. Now, what is that signal that you are sending? What are you telling those in that illicit deal? You're telling them that, don't worry, you are just going to stroll into the correctional facility after your court and you will stroll out. Keep doing your business. That is the message. And I think ADC is not arming it well, so that he can really choke on this current government in power and make them feel the pang of their misdeed and missteps that they continue to engage in. It is complete impunity. So at all, pardon persons with narcotic cases.
All right. Now to you, I've heard what you said, Mr. Oladmeji, and it is actually true that majority of the people who received this pardon were people who had drug trafficking cases in the past. Now, two questions, Ifoma. We also know as a country that there are some discrepancies and situations surrounding the current president as regards drug trafficking cases in the USA and files that we are not allowed access to. With what we are seeing now, the presidential pardon that has been given to ex-drug traffickers, what does that mean, not just for the public now, but for the morale of NDLEA? And what do you think this would mean for him running 2027 politically?
Well, the first one is, what does it mean for NDLEA? I think it's demoralizing for them because they put in a lot of resources to ensure that these people are being brought to book. And when they finally arrest this set of persons, you're pardoning them. And like I said earlier, these are not minor crimes. These are huge crimes. So it sends a message that, oh, we know, or I know that you're working, but that your work, it's not needed. You understand? So for them, it's demoralizing. Then coming to the part of the public, like I said earlier, it's further kind of eludes the public trust, because a situation whereby somebody commits a crime and you pardon the person, it will enable other people to equally commit crime. Since the president can pardon any crime, let me go into drug trafficking, let me go into kidnapping, let me go into, you know, human trafficking and the rest of them. It kind of encourages more crimes in Nigeria. And as regards the third one, which you said, what does it mean for the president? It means that everything that has to do with, you know, criminology, it's actually accepted, is widely accepted by the government. So people should see coming forward for 2027, more crimes are going to, you know, be kind of, more crimes are going to emerge coming 2027, because if your president can actually accept, pardon this kind of crime instead of condemning them, then it sets this president out. I mean, we actually accept and we don't pardon anything or any form of narcotic activities in the country.
All right. Thank you very much, Ifoma Oji, for your contribution in the show. And to you, Mr. Oladmeji Oluwafemi, we thank you for your contribution in the show as always. And now we have heard different stories, but all of them are still pointing to one thing. The fact that Nigeria is in a very critical stage and point, even more critical than 1960 when we gained our independence. This has to do with the future of Nigeria. From Dave Umahi citing the situation of the Southeast and their marginalization, now to the insecurity issue that has befallen us as a nation, and now to the pardoning, which we are thinking, or Nigerians are saying, does not reflect positively on Nigerians' stance on justice in the system. We are all asking a question: what does this mean for Nigeria come 2027? I guess we'll find out before then. But thank you to our viewers for joining us. We appreciate your views, your likes, and your comments. If you're yet to follow us, please endeavor to do so. Find us at Active Citizens across all social media platforms. And you can also follow me on my personal pages on Instagram and Facebook at Sharon NM Chuku. And you, Ifoma?
You can find me on Facebook at Oji Sophia and on Instagram at MrLex.
Mr. Oladmeji.
I'm always on X at Pivot Oladmeji, where we do political education.
All right. Now, till we see you this afternoon for As E Day Hot, do have a good morning.